Hey guys, welcome back to Liminal Period. It's your girl Chun-Li Shoddy. I just wanted to start this video off by saying I apologize for that live stream earlier. I am honestly so incredibly embarrassed. I know I was a little chaotic, a little emotional, and I tried to keep all of that off of my YouTube channel. So I do apologize, and I did go ahead and delete the video. No, I do not apologize for what I said because I do believe everything I said. I stand 10 toes down on it. But I know that the delivery as well as the rationale might have not made sense. So for that part, I do apologize. But anyways, I still plan on going live in the future, but because I don't want people to take things out of context, I will be deleting them as soon as it turns off. So do hit subscribe, and turn on your notification bells just in case I go live in a time near us. I want to talk about the Brittany, Renner, and Pearl Davis podcast walkout situation. We've had a couple of conversations as far as what men are dealing with as far as the challenges as it comes to dating modern day women. And I want to let you guys know, it's not an issue that you guys are dealing with alone. The toxic modern day feminist ideology has seeped into mainstream media, and it's affecting a lot of modern day women, like myself included. Like, we are all guilty of it to a certain extent. So anyways, the issue is that we're still unable to address these challenges, these obstacles, these flaws within society, because modern day women are just professional victims, okay? They're just going to be able to pull out every single social construct and ism that exists within today's society and throw it at you. So it's just damn near impossible to have the conversation. And today is going to be a prime example of that.
So now we're moving right along to a segment called Panel Pull Out. Pull out. I see what we did there. So each host will pull something from the internet or socials that they would like to address with that specific host. Sounds a little messy. We're going to start with Pearl.
Sounds so messy.
We're going to start with Pearl.
I'm first?
Yes. I mean, at first, yeah.
Okay, so I saw something that you retweeted, Brittany. And it was something about, it was something about female intuition.
Okay.
And I just don't think female intuition exists. I think female intuition is terrible.
I think it's terrible in what way?
Pause, because let me know what you guys think female intuition is, and whether or not it exists. Because to an extent, I think that all of us should have a certain level of intuition. I know what Pearl Davis is confronting Brittany Renner about is because even though women have this certain intuition, or we like to claim that we have this certain intuition, generally speaking, women as a whole are not making the best decisions. So yes, you might have female intuition, but it is proven itself to be unuseful.
Terrible choices as women. So people will always say, oh, my female intuition, I knew because of my female intuition. And yeah, I don't think it's really a thing.
Well, intuition, just simply put, is heightened awareness. And so it stems from when women were at home with children and had to be tuned into what was going on. So intuition doesn't just stop at children, it's across the board. So if you aren't tuned into your intuition, that's a you thing.
No.
Brittany Renner, if you're so in tune with your women intuition, why are you a single baby mama at the age of 33? Why? Why have you been passed around if your female women intuition is so on point?
Women were at home with children and had to be tuned into what was going on. So intuition doesn't just stop at children, it's across the board. So if you aren't tuned into your intuition, that's a you thing.
No. I just look at the choices we make,
We or you?
We as women.
I mean, what kind of choices do you make?
What kind
of choices do you make?
Okay, what kind of choices do you make, Brittany?
But you're the one we're saying that females don't make good choices.
Well, we own the majority. I have no debt, right? But women in general.
That's because you're from a rich family, girl. Congratulations, girl. You're from a rich family, so what are you talking about no debt, girl?
Women in general have a
congratulations. Like, you don't get fish don't get applauded for swimming.
I'm lucky. That's why guys said unlucky.
Okay, so for you, so why lead with that? So why lead with that? So why lead with that?
You asked for an example, and I'm going to give it to you. Do you want me to start?
Girl, okay. Let me tell you what
let's talk about
what we're not gonna do, because you have a history of doing this. Because I'm familiar with you. Okay. Girl, what you like to do is you like to say these really stupid fucking comments, right? And then so what you do, then you like sit back, and then you're like, you think you're so smart, you have this fucking smug ass look on your face, and then you're waiting for someone to give you that like emotional, like passionate response. So then you can sit there and be super dismissive and really kind of just gaslight. And I don't know, as a female.
Gaslight?
No. Yeah, do you know what that word means?
Brittany Renner is literally describing Pearl Davis as everything that she is. That's why I say it's going to be very interesting if this podcast would have existed, because obviously they're politically polarizing. They're both on the opposite end. They're also on this opposite end of the racial war that we have going on right now. And I think it's very ironic because you're going to hear it. She's going to point out some of the white privileges. She's going to point out white fragility. And the irony is Brittany Renner is from Ocean View, Mississippi, which is predominantly white. She is half white. She was raised by her white grandparents and her white mother. So she was very white up until a decade ago when she decided to come on to Instagram and gain Instagram clout for shaking ass. So I think it's very ironic that she points out Pearl Davis white privileges, okay? But again, getting back into the reason why this conversation took a left turn, it's because, again, like Pearl Davis the whole time has been talking about women as a we, as a collective, as a us kind of situation. And Brittany Renner and the other ladies on the panel feel as though it is a very targeted attack and targeted conversation, and Pearl is separating herself from it. Again, because for women, delivery, tone, semantics, everything is so freaking touchy that you have to eggshell everything. But that was not a great example for Pearl to lead with, according to Brittany Renner. So it's like you really need to just pick better examples. The reason why you're not in debt, it is because of wealth privilege, okay? It is because of monetary privilege. It's because you come from a wealthy family, not because that your family is white, okay? Because look at Bronny Jr., okay? He comes from a rich family. He has wealth privilege. It's not white privilege that he has. So that's why I say it's like all of these isms and all of these social constructs that people constantly harp on, it becomes very exhausting, especially when you just look at it from females trying to interact and engage in conversations with each other. It's damn near impossible.
You guys, go ahead. Okay, you know what's funny about you saying you guys is seriously, it kind of feels like the only thing that is actually feminine about you is that you have a vagina. Okay. Because I feel like, there's like a man on the panel.
Okay, and what's feminine about you, Brittany?
Everything is feminine about me.
Oh, come on. Like, I'm not trying to go personal here. So
I know some people were saying that.
No, you made it personal.
People were saying in the comment of the live stream that she is starting to look like Lil' Kim because, yeah, like Shorty's getting a little bit too much tweakment done, okay? And I don't know. It's like low-key, she looks like the Grinch to me. Not even Lil' Kim. She looks like the Grinch. Or like Cindy Lou Who. That's who Brittany Renner is trying to remind me of.
Hey, I don't have any debt. As if that's a flex because your parents have money.
You asked
What have you actually earned for yourself?
Brittany, you asked me. I'm saying in general, women own the majority of debt. We don't make great choices. Girl. If we look at who we pick, let's look at romantic decisions. Women don't make very good romantic decisions in general.
There's a point that needs to be.
Just to remind you guys that the whole time, Pearl Davis has been talking about women as a whole, as in a we situation. And I know a lot of times it feels like she's talking about other people, but I'm starting to question. Like, I think she kind of knows. I don't know. Because to an extent, she does have a patronizing tone and she is low-key condescending sometimes. But again, I know it's all based on communication and interpretation and all that good jazz, because some people might assume that I'm that way as well. She said that women do not make good romantic choices, and that is true. And Pearl Davis herself has not made good romantic choices. Okay, so that's why I say it's like maybe she does actually include herself in that, because her last boyfriend, the relationship ain't shit. So same thing. It was like Brittany Renner, the romantic choices and baby daddy that you chose, not a good dynamic. You know what I mean? So again, let's stop taking everything so personal because we're all guilty of it.
Made though, and that's the fact that what I heard Brittany say earlier was she's talking about people who have there's a deep heightened intuition, and I think where the conversation is splitting is the fact that you're actually talking about people who don't have that, who have it turned off, who are disconnected
like her,
from their intuition, who don't make poor decisions. We make poor decisions. Like when we actually go down to the root of why it is that we make these poor decisions, there's layers and layers and layers and layers to it. And more of it is going to come from just like the science and backing that you kind of put into collective bundles that ultimately just come from who? The white man.
See, she was starting to make sense, right? Because it is very nuanced. It's a very layered conversation, as with everything in society, okay? And like that's what I try to break down in some of the conversations I have. However, when you start to just blame it on white man's ideology and this man's ideology and this man's ideology, it's like, no, at what point do we take some self-accountability? Okay, because understandably, as Columbus Short mentioned, as Dr. Umar Johnson mentioned, as Sister Shirazad Lee mentioned, as I've mentioned, as so many people have mentioned, it is an unfortunate situation, but it's an unfortunate reality that a lot of Black and brown people are born and raised into single parent households. So just because we understand the cause and the reasoning does not mean that we need to excuse it. Okay, just because I understand that Brittany Renner was raised by a single white mom does not mean that I excuse the fact that she is a gold digging heifer. And is that a bad word? Am I allowed to say that? My bad. But it does not excuse her for being the malicious, intentful, willfully ignorant woman that she is. And that's the same thing for Pearl Davis. You know what I mean? It's like Pearl Davis does talk, like I said, to a certain extent, the way that she communicates, it does come off a little condescending. And she talks a lot about high value men, red pill talking points, and, you know, like she make valid points, but at the same time, it's like you talk about it and you understand it. However, you are still not representative and attracting the people that you're describing. I'm not sure if that makes sense. And again, that's why I had to go on live, right? Because it's kind of hard to communicate and articulate. What I'm trying to say is Pearl Davis talks about all the things that are wrong with modern day women when she herself exhibit a lot of the characteristics as well as the physical traits and attributes and make the same type of bullshit decisions that these modern day women make. And she doesn't approach the conversation in a compassionate, understanding, and genuine manner. And that's why I said in the live stream that I think she's low-key a chameleon. And I know a lot of people say that about me, but whatever. I'm trying to tell you guys that there's a difference between adaptability and understanding and wanting to live and coexist. And there's a difference between someone understanding the system and taking advantage of it. But anywho, another topic for another day. Let's get back into this video and how it's the white man's fault.
Raised by. So when it comes,
I'm reading that she doesn't have any debt.
I'm just saying. But
You
there's a certain level of understanding that's not there.
So that's not you making a decision. That's you being born into white privilege, and we need you to acknowledge that. So that's not a decision that you made. That is the way you came into this. And honestly, girl, you're a family of like 9 or 10. Like all that. That's how your dad set you up. So there are things that you genuinely did not have to experience. You don't fucking know.
And again, Brittany Renner was also raised by her white family. She also benefits from, you know, light skin privilege, pretty privilege. She has a pretty fat ass, you know, she's talented in soccer, but she does benefit from a lot of the things that she is saying that Pearl benefits from. And that's why I say with conversations with modern day feminists, it becomes very challenging because it just starts to become a tit for tat, just starts to become ad hominem attacks. And it becomes very overwhelming. And to stay within your frame, within your piece, within your place, it becomes challenging because you get this attacking you.
To sit there again, you don't even have to make any decisions. You're the same person. You are the same person that the last time I saw you accidentally, no, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking. And you get to go. You're the same person who accidentally spent $50,000 and your dad was able to pay it off on your credit card. Yes, you did when you spent.
I didn't actually.
And once again, the hypocrisy that exists in modern day women. And I'm sorry, guys, like, I just can't help myself but pause, because Brittany Renner is also the girl that was looking for love with a guy that is 6 years her junior, started going to his college games and low-key groomed the guy, got her bag by securing a baby with him, wrote a tell-all book about how much of a thought she is, but she's sitting here and criticizing Pearl because Pearl was born into a wealthy family. Like, I'm not saying it's right the way that Pearl is coming at this situation, but again, it's like in having these conversations with modern day women, it just becomes an attack on each other's personal lives. It just becomes very, very scary.
You're the one who said an accident. I spent over my limit. That's what you said. That's what you said. So again, an unreal. That's what you said. That's what you said. The last time that I saw you. Yeah. So again, we're going back to you. Your girl. What the shit that comes? That's what I'm saying. The shit that comes out of your mouth. You literally just say whatever. Shit spews because honestly, you're fucking delusional.
Brittany.
No, don't Brittany. Go ahead.
Brittany,
I do think there's one thing. I think there's one thing that we have to say.
If you're gonna yell at me, I'm not gonna do the show. Like, you don't have to scream at me. That's so disrespectful. You know, I'm not here to get like, that's like, you don't have to be rude. I don't.
So I feel bad for Pearl to an extent, because I don't know, like, maybe she's changed, right? But the thing is that Pearl does have a reputation for bullying other people on her own personal podcast when she was poppin', when she was monetized, before she went on her extreme red pill women shouldn't vote spiel, okay? Pearl used to be relevant, and that's the thing. When the shoe's on the other foot and now you have 3 women attacking you, it becomes a different conversation, it becomes a different tone, and you walk off. And again, it shouldn't even have gotten to this point. We should be able to just sit here and have a rational, logical conversation without attacking each other's personality or personal being. You know, you can critique personal choices, as in choices and decisions that people make. But again, you're criticizing her because she came from a rich family. You know, it's kind of weird because, again, like, at the end of the day, don't we all want to be well off, and don't we all want to bring our children into better financially stable households than we grew up in? Should our children be criticized because we made the right decisions? No. So Pearl shouldn't be criticized for how well off she is. But again, like I said, she shouldn't have led the conversation or the argument with that.
I ain't holding shit. The fuck on.
Okay,
I
I still want to hear what you had to say, though. So what did you? Well, I was about to just get into the point about women and having debt, because the truth of the matter is, women don't make as much. It's so
layered. It's so
such a layered conversation, but if
It's not that layered. Is that they choose, again, modern day women, not all women, but modern day women choose to live in this Delulu land where they think they're getting paid less. I've already had conversations on my channel dispelling the myth of the gender pay gap, okay? Women, quite frankly, are not choosing to go into more valuable trades. Bottom line, point blank, period, full stop. Okay, so there is no gender pay gap. If there was a gender pay gap and you truly believe that, do you not think in a capitalist society that we live here in America, that if women are really getting 75 cents to a dollar for every man, wouldn't it just be financially and business-wise more profitable to just hire all women? Right? But the fact that we actually have to promote and have DEI initiatives and have all of these things trying to encourage women and incentivize them to go into these fields means that it's bullshit. So anyways, like I said, it's like after Pearl Davis is off the show, it really doesn't make sense to continue to watch the whatever it's called, the BYG network podcast. I don't know what it's called. It's like, I'm literally not going to watch anymore because I don't need to watch a whole bunch of women just sit around and agree with each other. It would have been interesting to have Pearl Davis, again, even though I think she's just parroting talking points, at least it would address some of the issues head on.
If this,
No,
I don't know if we're still recording, but if this
No, of
right
course we
here
are. We're still
just
recording.
got you mad, then my,
because you know what?
my pull
maybe
out
not.
was
I don't
really
even
gonna
know.
make her mad because I was about to pull out the tweets about black women are racist. How
Okay,
in
go
the
ahead.
fuck do you sit on a panel with 3 black women and say 3 black women are racist? But I'm gonna wait.
No, she's not coming back because
I
you
can
know
answer
what we're
Well,
what
it
we're not-
is when you, well, I mean, if that is her tweet and that is her opinion, I know that is a blanketed statement. And I personally think that a lot of times it is just really hard for us to pinpoint certain archetypes and say it. But in general, I do feel like there is a certain group of modern day black women that are just uncomfortable and don't want the presence of other women and other women critiquing them. Like, you guys have seen it in the videos where I talk about why successful black men date outside the community. You guys see it in the conversations where I shared Dr. Hassan Johnson. Like, for some reason, even though I am mixed, I am unable to speak on certain social cultural topics. And it typically comes at criticism from black women. And I've been dealing with this since my early teenage years, so it's nothing new to me. And I'm not saying this again, that all black women, because some black women are the most welcoming and the most loving that I've ever met. You know, like my best friend is black. Like one of my best friends, she braid my hair whenever you guys see it on the channel or on my Instagram page. If you guys don't follow me there too. You know, I've known her since my teenage years. She came from the same small town that I came from. And so it's like we're able to actually have real and honest, raw conversations, and there's no offense to it. However, that is the minority, and that's unfortunate because, again, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Now experiencing this is white fragility. Remember when I said that
This
Caitlyn
bitch is half
and-
white.
not
This
Caitlyn
bitch is
herself, I'm
half
sorry. Remember
white.
when I said that white?
The irony of Brittany Renner talking about white fragility, which is also made up, but Brittany Renner, who is, like I said, half white, born and raised in a white town by white people, who only recently decided within the last decade that she was going to lean into and embrace her black side because it is more financially lucrative. The fact that Brittany Renner is sitting here saying this, like, fuck, like, shut the fuck up, Brittany.
We weren't allowed to watch MTV. We weren't allowed to watch BET. We were raised on country music, very much whitewashed. So going to an all-black university was like, holy shit, like this is a whole another side of me that I haven't even been able to tap into.
White women are very fragile. That's because
Yes,
of
you are.
this cushion that has been created for them. So when they are confronted
For
with truth,
you.
whether I'm at a 30 or I'm at a 3, the truth doesn't change. The reality is her and I've had conversations where she may think I'm stupid and she's saying a lot without saying a lot. Girl, I'm gonna clock that shit. So you don't get to say women don't make good financial decisions when your fucking rich ass daddy is the reason you are what you fucking are. You don't get to sit up here and fucking do that shit.
Yes, we can do that shit because, again, because of your fat ass is the only reason why you're where you're at. Okay, like you benefit from light skin and pretty privilege, and you benefit from proximity to whiteness. And again, if you want to clock shit, like let's do it. And so like that's why it's like I say, it's like it's impossible to have conversations with modern day feminists, and it doesn't matter what race they are, it doesn't matter what color, what creed, where they're from. It's just like, again, this toxic mentality of I am the victim and you are not, and this double standard just is so prevailing that it's dangerous.
I'm not standing for that shit.
It's because you feel patronized, and I understand why. Because
Not going for that.
Because growing up in a household pretty much with that, I actually relate to that a lot. That's why it's like, I hear there's 2 different conversations going on right now, because it's like the point originally was women don't have intuition. You answered the question, which was there's a certain level of awareness that you have, and you either have it or you don't. That's where things went left, because she took that as.
So you're aware and you say you guys know it, and some women don't. And again, Pearl Davis was just answering a question. What intuition did you guys have to become single baby mamas? What intuition was that was calling? Because again, just statistically speaking, Black women have the lowest marriage rates, have the highest divorce rates, and highest levels of single parent households. Let's talk about it. no personal attacks. Like, what is excusing all of these statistics and results when you're talking about all of this women intuition that you guys have?
An attack and
Put
was
it to
like,
use.
oh, well, I don't have a woman's intuition. Well, what makes you a woman, essentially?
Trying to say what makes me feminine, bitch. You're a fucking a 6 foot fucking masculine ass fucking man, bitch. And at the end of the day, I am in a masculine role because masculine is action. So yes, I am the breadwinner in my family. Yes, I have had to get it out the mud. I've been doing this for 12 years. So I really don't want to hear somebody who comes from privilege to sit up here and say that women collectively ain't shit, can't make great decisions, and whatever the fuck. Again, bitch, if we're 4 episodes in and you're already fucking crying, bitch, get the fuck on. I'm not here to convince anybody, bitch. Again, crying the fucking blues. Like I said, you can't be triggered if it's not true. And
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here because Brittany Renner does seem triggered to me. And it's ironic again that she says that you can't be triggered if it's not true. But literally, Pearl Davis just walked off the show because you were relentlessly attacking her and making ad hominem attacks based on her just saying the fact that, yeah, most women are not financially making the best decisions and they're not making the best decisions in life. So she calls BS as it relates to women's intuition. Because, yeah, you might have intuition. We all have intuition. It's called discernment, okay? But some of us don't know how to apply it in the right places. And all of this female intuition have not done modern day feminists any favors. So anyways, you better go check yourself before you wreck yourself. I am very disappointed that Pearl Davis is no longer on the show. Like I said, no one is going to sit there and watch 3 black women make excuses for modern women. But anyways, I've enjoyed this conversation. I hope you guys did too, and I look forward to speaking with you guys next time. Bye.